Join me as I dive in and rank the best games I platinumed in 2024. In this video, I'll share the games I platinumed this year and discuss which ones stand out as the best. With so many games available, it can be overwhelming to decide which ones are worth your time and effort for that coveted platinum trophy. I'll break down each game I've completed, highlighting their unique challenges, achievements, and what made the process enjoyable or frustrating. Stay tuned as I reveal the top game that not only I earned the platinum trophy on, but also provided an unforgettable experience. And don't forget to let me know your favorite platinum game in the comments below. Check out my other videos for some more gaming and platinum related stuff, and let's just get into it. Okay, so these are the games that I've platinumed in 2024, all of them. Now, we didn't start getting the platinums again until about March. And we obviously had a little bit of a stint where we ended up falling into the Call of Duty cycle and playing Call of Duty, but that's by the by. So I'm just not going to go in any particular order, just sort of going to go in the order that I really want to talk about these on. And we're just going to stick with the S to D tier. That's probably the best way of going about it. First up, we'll go with the first platinum that I got of the year, and that being Spider-Man Miles Morales. Now, the reason I wanted to play Spider-Man 2 again. Spider-Man 2 had been out a little while, and I was like, I wanted to play it, but I didn't want to play it because I hadn't played Miles Morales, and I was like getting down bad with Call of Duty, trying to stream Warzone, so we wanted to do something a little bit different. So I was like, something nice, easy, get our feet back into it. And as I started playing, I realized, you know what, we can go for the platinum here, so let's start going for the platinum. And before you know it, we ended up getting really deep into obviously getting platinums. Hopefully next year we can get some more. Now with Spider-Man Miles Morales, I'm going to put it as like in an A. Now the game itself, story is unbelievable. It's obviously a smaller story compared to the likes of say Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2. Obviously it was more of a DLC sort of standalone. It was a cross between like standalone and DLC. Trophy list was pretty much the same as the Spider-Man one. You obviously 100% everything. There are certain miscellaneous tasks. You get trophies related to the campaign, stories related to the side quests, and they all sort of culminate with you doing one or two left over at the end once you got the 100% to get the platinum. Honestly, getting the platinum was fun. Comparing it to Spider-Man 2, which I'll do in a little while, it was a little bit better, the trophy list, because the game was a little bit smaller compared to, say, the likes of Spider-Man, where the map was bigger, the game was bigger, there was a lot more scope, so the trophies took a little bit longer. But it's definitely an A. Definitely an A. Next, on to a set of trophies that we got together. We got them back to back, straight after each other. This was where I was trying to get rid of a bit of a backlog in my gaming catalog, as it were, and that is Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West. Now, I'm putting them up here at an S tier just because the story itself, for me, is probably one of the best gaming stories I have played. If you've had a chance to play them, either of them, I just love the way that it sort of, that we're in a futuristic world that ended up sort of being saved by a person with the cloning. The whole thing is just, I don't know, it just itches that part of the brain that I love about sci-fi apocalypse games. And added in with the hunting and the metal sort of animals. What's not to like? The platinum list as well is very, I'm not going to say straightforward, but you don't have to 100% the game, which is a good thing. There's a lot of collectibles. Horizon Zero Dawn has more collectible trophies than, say, Horizon Forbidden West does, but there's not as many collectibles. It's not sort of a Assassin's Creed level of collectibles where you got to grab everything. But both games, for me, just based off of the story. The trophies, it came pretty easily. There was only sort of, after the story, there was only, like, say, 10 or 15 trophies left over, which were like miscellaneous ones for like getting the suns and the hunting lodges, getting all of those. There was like stuff that I just didn't do that was left over. You sort of can clean up most of the trophies just by playing the campaign, which for me, I think is probably the way that most trophy lists should go. And then you're only left, I would say it should be 2/3 of the campaign the trophies can be completed within the campaign, and then say a third where it doesn't, and that kind of is the way that both games go. Now, there looks as though, obviously nothing's been announced, but the way that obviously Horizon Forbidden West is ending, you can see that it probably leads into a third game. So fingers crossed we get a third game. I don't know where it'll be based, but I hope we get one. Now, again, we're going to go with another one that I feel should be in the S tier, and that is Hogwarts Legacy. I'm of an age where if you didn't read Harry Potter, you just weren't cool. Well, I wouldn't say cool, but everyone was reading Harry Potter. Everyone was watching Harry Potter. So I grew up loving Harry Potter, just as most people my age have. And when this game came out, it was just, again, one of those games that scratches that gaming itch where you are literally playing someone within the Hogwarts world. You're going around the grounds. You can go to Hogsmeade. It's a game that I will start, even now after platinuming it. I'll start up and have there's still like a couple of missions you can do. So I still have a Potter around. There's updates still coming out for it. And there is announced that there is a second game. The trophy list itself is one of the ones that I'm not a massive fan of, in terms of it's more of a 60-40. 40% of the trophies are campaign related, story related, and then 60% are a lot of them are collectibles. So you do spend a lot of time collecting them. Now, normally that's not something I like, but with this, the world, the immersion, the locations, the Easter eggs, all of that just makes looking for these collectibles not a chore. Obviously, some games you can feel like you're just going over and over and over and over again, and it's just like a chore, but this just wasn't. Now, on to my most recent platinum, the last one that we've got. We've just uploaded a video on it, so make sure you check it out. If you haven't, I'll put a thing up in the comment, the card up at the top, and you can check it out if you want. And that is Funko Fusion, and I'm going to put that up in an A tier. Now, Funko Fusion is essentially it takes homage, let's say. It takes homage to the Lego games. It's very much like a Lego game. It's got Funkos from all different universes, mainly from Universal Studios. You got Back to the Future, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Mega Man, Xena, Warrior Princess. You've got all of these different pops that you can use, and you go around levels completing them. Some pops have certain functions that will let you unlock puzzles. And instead of bolts, it's vinyl. So it's very much like a Lego game. So if you are a fan of Lego games and you've tried Lego games and you like platinum, and this Funko game is very much one that you will enjoy. The trophy list, again, not that bad. You complete all of the campaign, all of the side quests, all of the secret worlds, unlock all of the characters, and that only leaves you with, with a few trophies left over, miscellaneous ones that you need to do. But the game itself is a whole lot of fun. The way that they intertwine the worlds and the levels, it's just, the attention to detail is so good on it, in my opinion, that you end up finding yourself exploring the maps aren't that big, but you end up exploring every nook and cranny because you want to see any Easter eggs from any of the movies or the shows or whatever there is that you want to try it out. It's pretty good. I'm a little bit gutted that the Back to the Future was only a cameo world in it, and you didn't get a full set of like 5 or 6 levels like you do with the other ones. But maybe next time if there's another game that comes out. Next, we'll go on to a trophy that isn't so great, and that is Toy Story 3. Now, the image here is for PlayStation 3, and that's what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be the PS3 version of the game, because I've nearly got, I think I'm like 70% done on it, and I was like, well, if they've remastered it and you get a new trophy list, great. If not, then I can get that platinum on the one that I've missed. So we booted up the game, and I thought it was a brand new trophy list, and the game just didn't look that familiar. And I was like, And then I did a little bit of research online and found that it's not the PS3 version of the game that was ported onto PlayStation Plus. It was the PSP version. So it was like very quick, very simple, not a lot you can do. There was a lot of, if you miss anything in the chapters, you could rewind. The good thing is you had like a rewind function that you get with the PlayStation, PSP, and PlayStation 2 games, where you can just go back and redo it if you've missed something. But it just wasn't like good, interesting. It was something to play. like if you wanted to chill out and vibe and just stick your feet up and play something and get a quick platinum, that game is definitely one that you can do. But you don't really get, in my opinion, any sort of validation or greatness from, like, it just doesn't feel great. It's just not a great game. Next up, onto a game that I don't think many people have platinumed and or maybe played too much. And it's a game, it's called Nobody Wants to Die. Now, again, I'm all into this, like, futuristic, as you can see from Fallout. Like, it's like futuristic, but old-timey. It's hard to explain. Similar to the way Fallout does, like, 50s nuclear, 50s futuristic. It kind of does the same with Nobody Wants to Die, and it's in more of a like detective noir game. And you are essentially a police officer going around trying to solve a crime and solve a murder. But if you've ever seen Altered Carbon, where you don't actually die, you just put your consciousness into another body, that is sort of the world that they live in. But this person is like full died. There's full unalived. You can't do anything about it. He's not coming back. And it's the creator of the ability to do so. So you work your way through and you find out, obviously, this conspiracy that's going on. And all the while, you're not sure what's real, what's not. It's a really good game. It's really interesting. It has a lot of twists and turns. If you like a very story-driven game and you like detective noir, conspiracy theory, like if you like all of that, you'll love this. The trophy list as well is pretty simple, pretty straightforward, because it is a very linear, story-driven game. There's a lot, nearly all of the trophies are got within the campaign. There's some that you just sort of obviously are missable in terms of doing certain things on certain missions, but all the missions are replayable, and you can sort of pick them up clean them up after the fact, so it's not too bad. But it's definitely a game that's worth playing. If you've never tried it and you haven't seen it, it's normally on sale. The game's normally about anywhere from like £5 to £15. So it's always relatively cheap, and you'll get a good 8-10 hours worth of gameplay out of it, and obviously a really good platinum. Next, another game that we were cleaning up, which was Just Cause 4. That was a game, again, where we're working through our backlog. We had got, I think it was about 30% of the trophies before we picked it up and tried it again. The game, it's a Just Cause game. If you play Just Cause games, you know you liberate an island, you defeat enemies, you cause explosions, you do as much damage as possible. And all of those trophies are related around the campaign, clearing up areas, flying, doing like skills. There's like certain like side quests like stunts and blowing stuff up and insurance jobs, like very much. And because I'd gotten the trophies for Just Cause 2 and Just Cause 3, I thought, why not? Let's just get the third one. Just Cause 1 isn't out on the PlayStation, so there's no way to get all 4 of them, but we thought we'd get them, and that'll be one I thought would be easy enough to get off of the backlog, because the backlog is pretty big. And it was something that was nice, chill. The video did pretty well. So again, a lot of these that I'm doing now, we've got videos for them on the channel, so if you want to check them out, please do so. And while you're there, like, subscribe. Next up, we've got the Ghostbusters video game. Now, I'm putting this up on an A, and I'm only putting this up on an A mainly for the story. I'm an 80s kid, 90s kid. Ghostbusters was my jam as a kid. It's my favorite film. I will throw that on at least once every couple of months to watch. And this game was amazing when it first came out in 2009. It was what I'd always wanted as a kid, which was a story game that was set just after the first film. It was great. Now, we didn't get the platinum on the original one in 2009, mainly because the online trophies were really difficult, and it's going to be one of the games that ends up on my list that just never gets completed. And then when Ghostbusters, when they remastered it and brought it out on the PS4, I bought it, played it for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then remembered that some of the trophies were online trophies, and then didn't play it. And it was only after I realized and took a good hard look at the trophy list that with the remaster, they got rid of the online trophies. Thank God. Anyone that brings a game out should go back, who's ever brought a game out and put multiplayer trophies on trophy lists, needs to get rid of them so I can clear my backlog, because some of them have got the servers closed down now. There's nothing you can do. So just take those trophies away, please, and just gift me the platinum. Anyway, we spooked again, another one that we wanted to clear off our backlog. This year was besides obviously the 10 platinums in 10 days challenge, and trying some new games, the aim was to clear some games off the backlog. So a lot of these games are on my backlog where they were half completed, and then we got them finished. Again, with the trophy list, it's very much a campaign, miscellaneous, as most trophies are. There was a couple of them, they're difficult. With this one, you had to go through the whole campaign without doing like less than $110,000 worth of damage, which is pretty difficult. With the proton blasters, just destroy everything in their path. So that one was hard. That one was probably one of the hardest trophies that we had to try and stick to, because otherwise I'm gonna have to replay the whole campaign over again. At least when you finish the story, the $3 million worth of damage was very easy, very quick. You just blast away. And then again, another clear out of the backlog is Fallout 4. Fallout 4, in my opinion, is an S tier that, again, mainly based around the story and the world and the campaign. It's not the best Fallout by any means, but in terms of it being a S tier, it's mainly because the trophies were pretty easy. Campaign I really loved. The world is amazing. Now, obviously, with the trophies, you've got like multiple different endings, so you needed to make sure that you saved at the right point. Otherwise, you're starting and booting that game up all over again, which thankfully I didn't have to do. It was another one that I got from my backlog, and it was mainly because I didn't know where to save up to, so I just sort of gave up on it after a while, and I ended up spending more time building bases than I did. It was because there was a trophy where you needed to, like, I think it was like 100% happiness or 100% security, or there was like a metric that you needed, and you needed to like have a certain amount of people in them and certain amount of things placed everywhere, and I was just trying so hard, and that was probably the hardest trophy because I had no idea what I was doing, and you needed to wait days and weeks for things to build up. But in the end, we did get that trophy. It was a little bit difficult, but we got there in the end. But all in all, trophy list, gameplay, story, world building, it's got to be an S tier game. Another S tier game, which isn't a very long one, is Astro's Playroom. Now, I haven't played Astro, but that probably may be the first one we do next year. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you want to see me try that one. But Astro's Playroom obviously comes free with the PlayStation 5. This was one of the games that I played or did in my 10 platinums in 10 days. Because to be honest, I didn't even know it existed. I've never picked. It's just something that was there. Like, you scan past it every time I'd start the PlayStation up, not look at it, not paying any attention. But obviously, I'd seen a couple of platinum videos and people doing them, and it said that it was definitely, even though it's like a free and it's only a short game, it's definitely worth playing. And by all means, I agree. This is a love letter to PlayStation, a love letter to all things PlayStation 1, 2, 3, the history of it. It's very much a PlayStation game, like a platform game. It's like a mix of games that it just gives you that like warm sense of like nostalgia when it comes to all things PlayStation. The game's quite easy. The collectibles are very easy. The whole game is very pretty. Say it's simple, but like pulling those artifacts out and it being like a PlayStation 3 or the controller adapter or the light gun. I don't know. They just felt more rewarding unlocking them. It was, and throughout the game you've got like little robots that are dressed up like Street Fighter, Uncharted, Last of Us, all dotted around. It was pretty. It's a pretty cool game. Another one that we did on the 10 platinums in 10 days is Deponia. Now, Deponia is a completely different game to a lot of the ones that we've put up here on here before, so far. Deponia is a very much like Escape from Monkey Island, side scroll, point click puzzle game, and you live in a dump, Deponia. You live in the dump land with all like thrown away stuff, and you're trying to get up into the stratosphere, into the posh part, but one of the women from, like a woman from the posh part has fell down, and it's your job to save her and get her back up there. If you've played like Escape from Monkey Island, Discworld, stuff like that, it's very, very much like that game. And even so far as I've said in the video, when I made the Platinum video, the audio even sounds like, I don't want to say old, but it sounds like that muffled, like if you've listened to it, obviously the audio from Escape from Monkey Island and Discworld and stuff, that's what it sounds like. It's like very muffled, very like the mic sounds a certain way. I'm not good with audio, but it sounds a certain way, and it'll trigger that memory in it. But it's a B because it's not a long game. It's not but the story is really good. The world again is really good. I don't know. Just when I think back, it isn't one that I find very memorable, very good. All the others above it, I wouldn't put them alongside it either. And then we've got Spyro Year of the Dragon, which is another one from the 10 Platinums in 10 days. Mainly because Spyro 1 already had percentage on it, so I couldn't start that one, and I think Spyro 2 did, so it just left Spyro 3, and I wanted to play a Spyro game. The Spyro games were the one, like, I remember playing them. I remember having Spyro 1 on a demo disc for the PlayStation for so long, playing the same level over and over and over again until my parents bought me the full game. It's one of my all-time favorite PlayStation games, and unlocking the platinum for it and playing the Reignited trilogy actually brought back a lot of memories, a lot of good memories. Again, trophy list, very simple, very complete. Complete all the story, collect so many gems. It's pretty straightforward. Nothing memorable on it though. It's not. And maybe it's because it wasn't Spyro 1. Maybe if it was Spyro 1 that I got the platinum on, that I'd maybe rate it a little bit higher. But Spyro 3, again, it was never a game I played originally, so it didn't pull on that nostalgia too much. Just the fact that it was Spyro. So that's why we're sticking it here at a B. Assassin's Creed Mirage, again, we're going to put that at a B. Now, Assassin's Creed Mirage obviously was the game that released this year for Assassin's Creed, or last year. But it's the most recent Assassin's Creed that we've got, and it was a harken back to the older style of Assassin's Creed games. So I decided to play it and check it out, because they get like Assassin's Creed, what was it, Odyssey, Origins, Valhalla, all turned into massive games. I'm yet to tackle one of them, but we will maybe tackle one of them this year. But this one was supposed to be more simplified, more back to the old ways. So I decided to try it out, and like when I started playing it, trophies started popping there and there, and the trophy list didn't look too bad. Now, it's an Assassin's Creed game, which is why it's a B. Assassin's Creed games are Assassin's Creed games. Even with the simplified down, they're very much the same game every year. There's not a lot of nuance to it other than the change in time period. So yeah, it's just a B. It's a good platinum to have, especially if you've got other Assassin's Creed trophy platinums. So if you've got other ones, then it's good to add to your collection. But I wouldn't go out of my way to make that like the main one, like a standout platinum for me. Next, we've got Modern Warfare 2 campaign remastered. It's Modern Warfare 2. It's not like, it's complete the game on veteran, do a couple of miscellaneous ones. Don't get me wrong, the campaign, the game should have had a multiplayer mode. It is what it is. I grew up on Call of Duty. I mainly mained Call of Duty for a long time, so I like the game. But in terms of a platinum, it's not one that I would say, oh, I've got the Modern Warfare 2 platinum, because it's not that difficult. Veteran is very much a matter of learning where people shoot, move, dodge, get out of the way, and sort of avoid everything. You're fine. And then the miscellaneous trophies that are related to it aren't that difficult either. It's not a hard platinum. In my opinion, it's quite an easy platinum. But if you've got a bunch of other Call of Duty platinums and you want to add that one to your list, then by all means, I would do so. Now, a game, again, I'm going to put this in a D. I'll probably get slated for it, but Undertale. I never got the hype when it first released, and I still don't get the hype now. Obviously, there's no hype around it, but I don't get what the hype was. Now, you don't have to complete the game to get the platinum either. One of the platinums is pretty much half of the trophy list is literally the same thing over and over and over again. You're just handing stuff in. It's a quick, it's an easy one, as this was done on the 10 platinums in 10 days. But I personally didn't enjoy it. The story didn't really make much sense to me, and I get that that's supposed to be the whole point. That's supposed to be the point of the game. It's supposed to be confusing. It's supposed to be whatever, but I never got it. I never got the hype, and I don't think I ever will. But so in that case, we're going to be putting it in a D. Next, we're going to have Spider-Man 2. Obviously, Spider-Man 2 S tier. The game, the story is probably one of the best Spider-Man stories I've ever seen, like including movies and everything. It was absolutely unreal. The trophy list, again, it's a very basic trophy list. Again, campaign 100%, a couple of miscellaneous ones, but the story for this carries the whole thing. It's one of the best stories if you've ever seen it. It ends in a perfect way for the game to move on to a Miles Morales main if we're going to get a Spider-Man 3. Next, we've got the Artful Escape. Now, this one is like a side-scrolling music, I don't know, like music puzzle, I don't know. You essentially play as someone who is just about to do a tribute act for his uncle, who's like a super successful music artist, but he wants to become a music artist in his own right. He then gets whisked away and goes into these psychedelic alien planet world things, all to prepare him ready for the performance. This, in terms of the way the game looks, the way the game sounds, the soundtrack, all of it is way, way out of what I thought I would like. But when I started playing it, it just hooked me, and I wanted to get to the end of it and see what the story was like. Got a very like cardboard picture puppet type thing, and you essentially slide through the worlds, completing certain tasks, strumming the guitar, playing the music. And the trophy list is a very simple one. There's like 2 missable trophies, and that's about it. The trophy list is pretty good, but again, the story for me and the world and the music in this specifically is probably what carries the game. Another thing with the story carries the game, a game that I never thought I would ever play. Again, this was 10 platinums in 10 days. This was a game that everyone, again, raved about when it first came out, but I essentially watched it, and it was a walking sim, and I was like, what fun can you get? How good can a game be where you just walk around? But it turns out it's not. That this is like little snippets into the life of the Finch family, and the way the story progresses, it's probably better than any movie I've ever seen. Not ever seen, but it's better than most movies. And as long as you play the game and do it in the right order, play it as it is, you get this whole outline of the Finch family. The trophies pretty much unmissable except for one, which is at the very beginning, so you can replay that mission and it's not too difficult. But the whole story, the world, again, for me, it's the world and the immersion you feel from it. Like, it looks like you're in this sort of Middle England, New England, Maine type place in America, and with like a cabin house, and the house has been built on and built on and built on, and you work your way up through the house as you're walking through. You obviously see the different stories and all the different tragedies. It's an amazing game that I kick myself for not playing sooner. The game has been out for years. I only played it this year, and it was interesting. It was an experience, I will say that. Again, trophy list, pretty simple. One or two missable trophies, which I said you can get rid of at the beginning. And yeah, it definitely, if you haven't, there's no point. I don't know why I'm saying if you haven't played it, play it, because I'm guessing most people have. I'm probably just the one dope that waited 10 years after it came out probably to play it. But yeah, there we go. Next, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Again, it's a platformer. It is the game that the PlayStation 5 sold with to show off the game and how quick the processor is, the games, the graphics, and all of that. And it shows that off pretty well. If this was the first game that you ever got and played with the PlayStation 5, I can see why you would see it as amazing as it is. And it's a good game. Don't get me wrong. I love Ratchet and Clanks. I love platformers like Spyro, like Crash, like Ratchet. He's a PlayStation, Sony mascot. All the mascot games are pretty good. But the problem was I've not played any of the other Ratchet and Clank, so I had really no idea what was going on. I was essentially just playing it. The story didn't make a great deal of sense to me. I had a rough idea, but not a proper one. So it was a little bit weird just playing the game out. Trophy list, again, straightforward campaign, couple of miscellaneous. Nothing overly difficult, nothing missable. There was one where it was like killing a certain amount of dinosaurs. You need to kill like 5 of them, but only 4 of them are in the game. So you needed to make sure that you die and restart the checkpoint. That was pretty much the only one that I would say was difficult or missable. But other than that, graphics were great. Again, story was good, but I had no idea what was going on. Unpacking. Now, again, this was a 10 platinum in 10 days. Unpacking was just, it's fun. It was a game I literally, put my feet up. I was literally just watching telly on the one monitor, playing this on the other. I got it done in like a few hours. It wasn't massively difficult. So there wasn't really anything. It wasn't anything that stood out. It was just a game to get through the 10 platinums in 10 days. I needed like something that was going to be quick because some games had took up more time than others. And like I say, it wasn't bad. It's not a bad game. It's just not a good game. It's just not great. Out of the list of the games there, it's definitely one of the worst ones. So it's got to go in the D tier. Blackwood Crossing is a story about a girl on a train on the way home to see her parents with her brother. And I won't give away too much, but it's basically like a coming of age learning about loss. It's again, like Edith, they call them walking sims. The whole thing takes place on the train and some imaginary places, but the whole thing is about her walking from one end of the train to the other. And along the way, you find out more about her life, what's happened, what's going on, and it's a really, really good story. Trophies are pretty straightforward, just complete the game. There's not a lot. There's no difficulty to it. There's one where you've got to make 2 decisions, so all you do is save the game, reload it, and make the other decision. That's about it. That's the only one that I could say is missable, because technically it is. But if you know whereabouts where you've got to go up to, you just pause it, save, do the choice, load it, do the other choice, and you've done. And that's pretty much it. You're not going to go anywhere. But it's really good, really, really fun. And I urge anyone who hasn't played it to play it. I don't think it's on the PlayStation Plus anymore, but I think you pick it up from, again, like the other sort of cheaper games, anywhere from like 5 to 15 quid. And it's definitely worth anything over 15, maybe not, but it's definitely worth your money at £15. And then finally, the Expanse Telltale series. Now, a Telltale series, the Walking, like the Walking Dead and everything. This is the most recent one they did, based on the TV show The Expanse, and I'm putting it up on an S tier because I love the show. The Expanse TV show is like one of my top 10 TV shows that I watch or have watched, and I like the Telltale games. They're pretty good. Again, the story, the trophies, all related around the stories, so it's pretty easy. But for me, it also gives you a little bit of an insight. If you've watched the series, it gives you an insight on how people end up in certain places at certain times, and who's met who before. It was a good little eye opener to see that. So it's definitely going to be up there for an S tier for me, just because of the link to the TV show. And that's it. That's my tier list. I did this just off the cuff, off the, like, no planning, no nothing, just the urge, the feel when I seen the game, and memories came back from it. So that's what it is. If you agree with any of them, disagree with any of them, let me know down below in the comments. And until next time, we'll catch you all in the gameplay.